everybody to the MARG Change Leader Forum. We are in the thick of our discussion on the topic of career in change management. With the increase in intensity of changes happening in organizations, change management is no longer a part of a job, it is becoming the whole. We heard from HR professionals, customer success specialists, project managers, consultants, and of course, OCM experts as how they have adopted this as a career. In these two episodes, we are covering change management as a career from the viewpoint of communication specialists. Communication is a very integral part of change management on one hand, and change management has changed the way communication happens to a large extent. So that's why this is a very interesting topic to discuss and hear the viewpoint of this group of people. Please welcome our expert today, Sutapa Das. Sutapa is an expert in marketing, communications, and change management. She has more than a decade's experience in global brands like Whirlpool, Stanley Black & Decker, and Marriott International. She has been instrumental in crafting innovative communication strategies, which has led to large changes in these organizations, creating measurable business growth and impacting positively the operational efficiency. Welcome, Sutapa.
Thank you, Sudeshna, and hello, everyone. I am equally excited to be part of this video series on career and change management. It's a privilege to share this platform and discuss the evolving role of communications in shaping successful change initiatives. So whether you are just starting out or looking to make a career shift, I hope this conversation inspires you and gives you the valuable insights to navigate your own path in change management.
You have both, the basic degrees in communication, and then you have gone and done your prosci change management certification. So, kind of having the expertise in both fields. Taking one step back, I would like to first ask you that how have you seen change management change? I mean, how has that evolved over time?
Absolutely. So, from my perspective, I think change management has undergone a significant transformation. Becoming a more structured, data driven, and human centered. So, what we once saw as a series of isolated reactive projects has become more strategic, continuous process embedded in organizational structure. So, one of the biggest shifts is the rise of agile methodology. So, what I have observed is that instead of a rigid and a top-down approaches, companies now focus on iterative, flexible change that actually responds to the evolving market trends. Moreover, I think the pandemic was a defining moment, emphasizing the need for organizations to be adaptable. What has happened is that many organizations they had to pivot almost overnight to remote work, and it became clear that managing change was about more than just processes. It was about empathy, it was about leadership, and most importantly, it was about communication. Well, a great source for understanding these trends are, which I personally feel is to read. For me personally, reading is an ongoing process. And the more you read, the sharper you become. You develop the capability of critical thinking, which helps a lot. At least in my case, I can say it has helped me a lot to understand the evolving trends of the revolution, which is called change management. And when I'm talking about books, I would like to cite some of the best reads that I find and would be relevant to at least answer this question. Would be Leading Change. It's by John Cotter. And this book it outlines a comprehensive framework for organizational change. And here, when I'm talking about books, I would like to talk about another excellent read, which is called Switch. And this particular book, it actually focuses on the psychology behind successful transformations. So, what I believe is that the more you read, the more knowledgeable you become. And when you execute that knowledge, I think that turns into wisdom. And, talking about IT giants, I think most of the IT giants now, they have taken an agile approach to change management, constantly iterating and learning from the feedback loops to foster a culture of resilience.
Okay. And as you spoke about the structure, right? That it was done very isolated. So now, like a little more comprehensive way of doing it. So, would you like to elaborate on that as to how currently you see change management kind of happening across organizations?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, change management in current scenario, like if you talk about pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, there is a huge difference in the way change management is considered as a domain or as a role within the organizations. It is now recognized as a very vital discipline within organizations, alongside project management and operations, which already had a stable and a matured place within the organization. So, change management is not just an operational necessity now, but it is a strategic imperative. In fact, a while back I was reading in one of the recent researches, it shows that companies with the structured change management programs, they are 6 times more likely to meet or exceed their objectives, the organizational objectives. And organizations, they are establishing dedicated change management teams, embedding change professionals who specialize in frameworks like ADKAR or the Cotter's 8-step process. So, and Eric, I personally see this discipline, formalized in organizations through certifications. And like you mentioned initially in the conversation, that I personally have done the prosci change management certification. And I think it has helped me a lot, in terms of uh, getting a perfect combination of practical as well as theoretical knowledge has helped a lot for me to grow in this particular domain. Apart from that, what I personally feel is the rise of digital transformation has only increased the importance of this field. As companies, they continually adapt to new technologies like AI, automation, and cloud computing. So, for instance, again, major IT giants, what they have done is they have adopted change management processes to ensure smoother transition when implementing AI-driven initiatives. What I also believe is that AI and predictive analytics are particularly exciting. Moreover, talking about tools like precise enterprise change management tool, I was reading it a while back. This software actually leverages AI to analyze historical data on past challenges or the changes, allowing companies to predict and plan for the impact of future changes more accurately. So I think it is high time that integrating AI changes a proactive approach, anticipating resistance points and crafting more targeted communication strategies to mitigate those resistance. And while I'm talking about or emphasizing more on reading, I think with this, something that is very relevant and that I am currently reading is the book called The Innovator's Dilemma. What is the beauty of this book is that this book actually explains how businesses can manage disruptive change, often spurred by the technological advancements. Like I said earlier, technology, it should be, it should be an ally with change management, and it shouldn't be seen as a competition into both worlds. Unless and until you are in alignment with technology, it will become a challenge to adapt to any kind of change in today's technological era. So, my strong recommendation would be to establish strongly as a change management representative. It is very important that we do not shy away from technology. Instead, we embrace and adapt it because in the long run, it is going to help us a lot.
Very interesting. This combination of technology as well as reading. You're keeping the basic very much intact and still like how important technology is to us. So I completely get that. And now your role as a communication specialist with which you started, and then like how do you think this comes together with change management?
Oh, that's a brilliant question, Sukrishna, and thank you for this one. What I always consider is that communication is backbone for any function you talk about, and it is crucial in both professional as well as personal life. You cannot just go away from communication. We communicate communication is so basic that it starts from a newborn baby to an age-old adult, right? So communication, I think it is the basic essence of our life. We cannot run away from it, move away from it. So when I say this, I think change management is also not an exception. Communication plays a key role in ensuring effective change management. So while change management, it provides the strategy to ensure that stakeholders, they not only understand the changes, but feel engaged and committed. Likewise, communication, it actually delivers the message. So when I'm saying delivering the message, it actually ensures that whatever is planned, it gets communicated to the audience in a perfect manner. So I think in that way, communication and change management, they actually go hand in hand, and it ensures that our stakeholders, they are completely in alignment with the project that we are working on and the basic parameters that we want to convey to them. So when I'm talking about the emphasis and effectiveness of communication, on the other hand, on the contrary, a poor communication can actually derail even the most well thought out change initiatives, while a transparent and inclusive communication can turn even the most skeptic project also into a buy in from the stakeholders. Uh, while talking in terms of strategy, communication must be tailored to different audiences. Now, one communication cannot cater to all the set of audiences. So, for example, C-suite executives, they need a different message compared to the frontline. Uh, what I would suggest is tools like stakeholder analysis and communication mapping. They help a lot in delivering the right message to the right audience at the right time. So, a combination of all these three makes the communication even more effective and even more productive and efficient. Again, that's my favorite piece. And I would recommend our audiences, if it is possible, to go and read this particular book. And this book is titled as Crucial Conversations. And what is the best part about this book is that it offers practical advice on how to navigate challenging discussions that often arise during the time of change. When we talk about change, the first thing that comes up is resistance. And I think we as change representatives, we as change practitioners, the first thing that has to be a part of our plan is to how to mitigate resistance. And when we talk about change, it is the people side of change. We deal with people, we deal with different psychologies. And every individual reacts to a particular change in a very distinct manner. So it becomes even more, it becomes harder for us to, come to a point where we convince them and ensure that whatever change project we are taking up, that this will not just benefit the overall organization, but it will benefit them also as an individual. So I think that makes us an important part of the organization and how we deal with people, which is, I think, the most difficult aspect, as well as at the same time interesting as well. So when I go to work and the projects I work on, every day is a new challenge for me. And I think that is something that is keeping me going, and that gives me that motivation to read more and find solution to those challenges that comes up my way. And I think that's brilliant for me personally. I think as long as I have challenges, and as long as I work on finding a solution to that, it's brilliant. I am learning, I'm growing, I'm becoming more knowledgeable. And like I said earlier, when I'm able to execute that knowledge into reality, I think that turns into wisdom. And I think wisdom is helpful both in your personal and professional life.
True, true, absolutely, and well said. I think the essence of communication you brought out very well during change is that translation of the business reason into the what is in it for me. I think that is a very crucial part of how communication is done during change. And it becomes so you have been a communication specialist when you like when that main objective was to for growth or for market expansion or for a product launch, that kind of a communication. And then when you're doing communication from for change, how has change management influenced that, or as a meaning your role as a communication expert?
Oh, that's another brilliant question. Thank you so much once again. See, yes, there is a difference. Like I said, your communication needs to be tailored as per the audience you cater to, right? And the projects that you work on. So while talking about communicating a marketing project, it is more about showing it to the outer world, right? So that is more about a B2C marketing. So the kind of words that we use, the visuals that go along is very different than what we do in change management. Talking about change management as a domain completely, we completely cater and work with the internal employees. Uh, when dealing with your internal employees, you need to be more sensitive. You need to take care of their, like I said, the emotional, the psychological piece of it. Because change management is all about that. While marketing, it is completely about dealing with the outer world, where maybe to some extent you understand your audience, but you do not understand or know them completely. So there is not much of an emotional connect with your audience because you don't see them on a regular basis. You don't meet them. You don't talk to them on a regular basis. However, it's completely different with change management. You meet and then with marketing communication, you send out one communication that caters to all layer of audiences. But here with change management, there are different layers of employees who get impacted and affected at different times with the same project, right? So while I mentioned about the Edgar model, which talks about, which actually focuses on the awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement phase. So even the communication also goes out to the audience, impacted audience in that phased manner, right? So we begin with the awareness phase, then we move to desire, and finally, then we move to reinforcement. That's not the case with marketing. Right? It's one communication that caters to almost all the audiences. So I think there is a lot of difference, and even the use of platforms. Through marketing, it is mostly the digital platform that we use. So we do not build that connect with our audiences directly. Here, it's not just, yes, we work with employees from different regions who are based out of different time zones and belong to different cultures. That makes a lot of difference, right? And you meet in person, some who do virtual. So, striking a balance between that, striking a balance between the cultural differences is so interesting. Let me tell you this. The way the employees function in an European region, I'm just giving you an example, in an European region is so different than the people, how they work in US. So, the same communication for the same project, but you need to mold that communication so that it aligns with the people, belonging from that particular region, depending on the culture that they belong to. So I think that has helped me a lot, which is not completely the case with marketing, right? So I think that way, I'm really excited, and uh, like each day brings something new. And dealing with people, I somehow I feel I'm a people's person, and maybe that is one of the reasons that actually helped me or dragged me to get into this particular domain. So I think that trait of mine also helped me to kind of excel in this particular role so far, and I'm looking forward to it. And I am a person who is more driven by numbers, more known by data. And with AI into the picture, I think an amalgamation of data and AI would really bring wonders in near future to change management.
That's like that would be quite amazing, and I guess I understand, like, the passion you have towards the craft, you can say, of communications, and as like it makes it more interesting. I think change management makes, like, that being on your feet all the time, that yeah, there would be something I would not know, or something new I would know every day. So when you are kind of thinking of, say, so as a communication specialist, making that shift to change management, definitely the communication, the knowledge to craft your messages definitely helps. Other than that, what would be the other specific skills? You definitely spoke of reading and getting more knowledge, and being savvy with technology. Other than that, what are the other specific skills you would say for communications specialists to have to, if they are making a shift to change management?
Sure. For communication specialists, they actually have few inbuilt skills already that really helps to grow in that particular role of change management, and which help me personally would be, I would like to cite would be storytelling, active listening, and stakeholder management. So I think this skills being already there in a communication specialist representative, this actually transfer quite seamlessly into change management. However, the shift requires mastering a few other skills as well, additional skills as well. But again, when I'm quoting the skills, these are completely dependent on my personal experience and observation. So our audience may have some different views. They may agree or deny on this, but just as a disclaimer, this is completely on my personal experience and observation. So first, that I think the skill that is needed to transition to change management smoothly would be strategic thinking. You need to understand the broader organizational goals, and how change initiatives aligns with those. Unless and until you understand the end objective or end goal, you cannot frame your strategies, and you cannot work on that. So I think that is important. Second would be, which I'm repeatedly saying, is data literacy. In today's world, you cannot move away from data. You cannot hide from data. So I think with AI and analytics becoming more prevalent, it's crucial to be comfortable interpreting data and using it to drive decisions. So that is important. Thirdly, I think project management. Managing change, it often involves coordinating across departments and timelines. So basic project management skills are must. And I need to have that. Last but not the least, I think, is emotional intelligence. This is crucial because, again, we are dealing with people. They are not robots, right? And I think change can be emotional sometimes, because there are at times, major changes that happen within the organizations. And being able to empathize and address the concerns in a thoughtful way is very crucial and critical.
Mhm.
So I think a communication expert who can apply these skills, they can easily take on the roles, that blend change management and communication. And probably the organizations may have the role of change communications lead at the end of the day. But like initially I said that this is all on my personal experience and observations. Like to this, I would like to ask you as well, Sudarshna. Like, do you think like I'm missing out on something, or there are other skills as well that you think would also add up to the list, which will help people to transition to this role?
So as you correctly mentioned the skills, because we were also thinking, because we are into imparting the knowledge on the framework, right? But sometimes we see that in spite of have knowing the framework, the way change management is going to happen, they are still not able to push through. So with that said, that with that, if they have the storytelling skills, if they have stakeholder management coupled with a little bit, a lot of influencing skill, because I think that would be something. And the one which you touched upon, which is so very important, is I think it is a part of communication, but in change specifically, it will be more difficult conversations, or and not to treat those difficult conversations as difficult people, but situations, right? So crafting those smaller, very, that's why you said the emotional intelligence part comes in, understand the psychology also comes in quite a bit, that what kind of mindset what kind of thinking or behavior do they exhibit usually, that will also show that during change, how they naturally to resist or go with the flow, like those kind of things help us do those difficult conversations even better, I would say.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
We were actually, like, for this leader forum only, like, post this, we are giving a lot of information from experts that do this, and after that we said we should not leave the people there. We are going to kind of follow it up with these particular skills, because with the framework you would need these to make it a whole change management, right?
Completely agree. I just can't deny on this point.
Yeah, and communication specialists definitely have an edge on the storytelling part, influencing to a large part, and you have to deal with the stakeholders. So those are, I think, very natural, but they have to build it up, as you said, with the org context.
Absolutely. So means yes. What is the benefit for a communication specialist that will help them to transition easily to change management are the skills, and especially the storytelling piece. I think that goes a long way. That is needed, I think, for each and every domain in today's world.
True. So, do you think, like, like a communication specialist is your role? So in the organization, do you see any other role which kind of easily we can make this shift to change management?
Um, yes, there are. Again, as a disclaimer, my personal understanding, I think one of the major roles that can also transition to change management, or kind of maybe at some point they overlap as well, is human resources protect. Like they already have the name human in it, right? So which means, and then they anyway handle employees. They engage with them, they do internal communication. So I think both these components are key elements in managing change. So I think that can be one of the roles that can transition, or one of the areas that can transition to change management. Another that I can think of is project managers.
Mhm.
Again, why? Because they have the skills to, handle multiple projects at one point in time, handling budgets, deadlines, resource management. So I think they are good at, or they will be good at managing the technical skills or the technical side of the change initiatives. Another one I think can be business analysts, maybe.
Okay.
Why business analysts? Because they have a particular ability to understand process and workflows, and I think that way it makes them ideal candidates to handle the procedural side of it. So these are like this professions or this roles, I think, can deal with certain specific areas of change.
Mm. They
Uh,
I think these roles, like one has the, like, as you said, the human side, they have to kind of maybe do a little more project management, how to do project management, whereas project managers, maybe they need to do the storytelling and this thing better. I think still I would say communication specialists have an edge. Don't you think so? Because they're somewhere in between, I would say.
well, for me, I always have a biasness for communication professionals. So yes, definitely. And the natural skills that actually comes along with communication professionals, I think no one can deny that. And in today's world, it is much needed. So it helps. It gives that extra edge. I think so. And last but not the least, I think IT.
Hmm.
Why IT professionals? It may sound little different to all our audiences, but why it is that now today's world is all about digital transformation, and digital transformation, it's not the future; it's already here.
Right.
We are using AI now. So I think IT professionals, the one who manage system changes, they are well positioned to transform into this change management. I feel so. Because for them, again, this skill gives them that extra edge.
Mm.
So I think that will be very helpful for them. So if any IT professional is listening us, they can think of this is as well. And I think as AI and automation they become more common, so
Mm.
IT professionals are increasingly involved in driving technological change within the organization already.
Mm.
So I think this particular professions or this particular roles, they can, if they wish to, they can think of taking change management as well with a little bit of fine tuning with some of the skills that is necessary. And I think they can excel. And especially, and after taking a prosci certification, I think that will add a feather to the cap.
Oh, great. Oh, great. So that can be a good pitch for the people who are doing prosci change management applications. Okay. And so any final tips for the career in change management or any closing thoughts?
Um, Certainly, I have. First is that get certified. I think practical knowledge is important. However, support it with a theoretical knowledge is equally needed because that will help you to understand the processes, methodologies that you would need to apply in the particular in practical field. So I think to get certified is important, essential. We do it, and our certification also helps a lot in the long run. That's first thing. Second thing would be again re-emphasizing on the fact that understand AI and data. Try to learn how AI and analytics can be used to drive the change initiatives. Uh, to give you a very basic example, AI tools they actually can help you analyze resistance, track the progress, and measure success. So I think that comes handy, and that helps a lot to make any of your change projects successful. Uh, Thirdly, I would say stay people focused. At the end, change is all about people. Dealing with people is the most difficult part. So cultivate that emotional intelligence. Uh, get that empathy out, to your audiences. As change, it often brings uncertainty and resistance. So if you say what is synonymous to change management, it is resistance, right? So I think to build that emotional intelligence quotient in yourself while you're dealing with people is very important. Last but not the least is build some practical experience. So, like going back to my career when I started and got into change management, it was not that I one fine day I woke up and I wanted to get into that. It was just because the communication is a vital part in any project, and so is change management as well. So in my previous organizations, when we used to sit, all the teams used to sit for any discussion with the project. Change management was also one team. Part of that discussion, and the kind of questions they used to ask and the interaction they used to have, that actually interested me a lot. And this is where that thought process came to my mind, and I decided, let's give it a thought. And then I voluntarily became part of the team. I know. And initially, when I became part of it, I was a passive participant, where I was just listening what they're saying, what they're doing, how they're framing the strategies and all. And then gradually, I became an active participant and I started to contribute. So I think taking that initiative by yourself, volunteering yourself for change initiatives within the organization would really help. Because what happens in most of the organization when you end up in this particular role, you may not have a guide or a mentor to guide you. So if you already are with a change management team and you're getting understanding and tips and tricks from them, I think that will help you a lot in the long run. And this is again from my personal experience, because for me it has helped.
Thank you. I think this was a wonderful conversation, and where the time went, I also didn't have a track of it. And I think that's a great note to close this. Is like, people like who are interested in the career in change management. It so from your discussion, what came out is people who know the organization or the people well, or the change well, are very well poised to take change management up as a career itself, because they are already into knowing one part of the whole thing. It will always be new learning, new things, and you have to do a lot of reading and know more things. And yeah, and then we can change the world. So thank you so much, Sutapa, for joining us.
Thank you once again for inviting me. And I think it's been a fantastic conversation. And I truly enjoyed discussing the dynamic world of change, management, and how communication play a pivotal role in it. For those who are considering this career path, always remember that change is inevitable, but how we manage it makes all the difference. So, best of luck, and I hope our discussion helps you on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So, friends, keep watching experts talking and giving you insights on how to take change management as a career and what are the ways and means in which you can excel in that role. Keep watching this space and join the MARG Change Leader Forum to get more insights from our experts. Thank you.